What if I told you that no matter what is going on around you externally, chaos, stress, other people's drama, that you have the freedom to choose your thoughts, your beliefs, and your joy? The question is, as a follow up, are you using that power or are you letting the world decide for you? Right? That's what we'll be talking about in this episode of the Rebel Manifestors podcast. We will be breaking free from those mind or mental chains and reclaiming the freedom that you have within you, right? Not waiting for other people to give you freedom or permission, but you taking the step up and claiming and using your freedoms. So let's get going. Hello, and welcome back to this episode of the Rebel Manifestors podcast, where we break the rule book and create life on our own terms. Messy and awkwardly, and all the things, but creating the life that we want to be living. And I share my insight, my experiences, and things I learn along the way, because I am definitely on this journey with you. So, to get us started, just kind of like, I guess, an overall kind of viewpoint, or just to set the tone for the podcast. Freedom isn't just about where you live or what's happening or what you can or can't do. It actually is about what is in your mind. Are you holding yourself captive, or are you limiting your freedoms in your mind because you get to choose? You get to choose your thoughts, your beliefs, your actions, reactions, or lack thereof, how you respond to people or circumstances. And so today we're going to be looking at that, looking at that aspect of freedom. So let's see here. And before we get started, just a quick note. I have an episode from the past. It's episode 40, and it's called something like "When the Universe Sent the Police to Set Me Free." So that is a completely different, not different, but it's another take on freedom. And it was, I won't spoil the entire episode for you, but it really has to do with my choosing to see things differently, right? There was a circumstance, that I wanted to change. And so that happened. The universe delivered those circumstances for me to change that. Um, but it was challenging. And things happened that I could have very easily said, my God, why is all of this happening to me? Why is all of this happening to me? It's too much and blah, blah, blah. But I chose instead to say, this is happening for me. These challenges are happening for me. They are helping me develop skills, foundations that will actually benefit me. And it's creating a bigger capacity for me to handle these types of challenges and benefit from them. So, it's episode 40. When the police sent the universe. No, when the universe, when the universe sent the police to set me free. Go check it out if you feel like, listening or checking out that story. And let's see. Yep, I got that. So yes, the basic premise. I'm just looking at my notes here. Is that I chose to focus on the circumstances happening for me and benefiting me, instead of looking at it from a victim, like things happening to me. So the rebel mindset, we get to choose what we think. And a lot of times that doesn't happen naturally. That's why I refer to it as the rebel mindset, because society, or maybe people or circumstances, whatever, it could be ourselves as well, kind of condition the thoughts that we are expected to have or should have, or just traditionally just fall into. And being rebellious about our thoughts is choosing what we want to think, choosing the beliefs that we want to have. And that sometimes means changing beliefs, changing perspectives, because we are being open-minded enough and doing the personal work and looking at the circumstances and experiences like, okay, I actually don't align, or this belief does not align with me anymore, or who I'm becoming. And so changing that. So that's why I refer to it as rebellious, because it's intentional and we are individually choosing the thoughts and beliefs that benefit us, that are actually true for us and not just handed down to us and that we accept, blanketly, or just kind of accept as true because other people believe that, or that's just kind of how it's always been. So it's along the thinking of, a lot of times we feel like we're at the mercy of circumstances. Like I talked about that previous episode, we feel like we're at the mercy, or it's happening to us, and it's shifting that perspective into, okay, there is a benefit here on some level, and I'm going to rebelliously choose to say, okay, things are working out for me, even if they're hard right now. Things are working out for me instead of against me. So if you can think of examples of thoughts that are not benefiting you, write them down, and then you can go back and reframe them, kind of keep track of them. That is a good way to start, just kind of becoming aware of your thoughts and intentionally changing them. And so one that is working for me right now, in this present time, the thought that I am using to change my mood, change the actions that I take instead of not taking them. When things feel hard, like getting up and exercising, there was a time where I was really good. I was really good at getting up early and doing my exercise, my movement. And then, sometimes, or life happened, circumstances changed, kind of schedules started shifting, and I fell out of some of the practices that I had gotten pretty good at keeping and maintaining. And so getting back into that, instead of judging myself, instead of beating myself up for it, I realized that not having them was actually creating more, not chaos, but like my days didn't feel as structured. It felt like I was kind of jumping from thing to thing. And I did realize that not having these routines that I had implemented is, or at least has been, I think, I feel like that's the reason I don't have that structure. And so the rest of my day then kind of feels a little bit unhinged, or kind of like, oh my gosh, I'm just putting out fires instead of doing things proactively and intentionally. So the reframe that I am currently using is, I love myself enough to. And this is the beginning of February, the very first week of February when this episode comes out. So maybe that's timely, right? I've been using it for a few weeks, so kind of leading up to, but that love for myself. So I love myself enough to get out of bed early and do my exercise or do my movement, or I love myself enough to create a plan for the day instead of just kind of going, free flow through the day and not really knowing the time block. So these are things that have not traditionally come easy for me, but I have seen the benefits of them. And so again, it's kind of this ebb and flow. I did take those steps. I did implement those changes. And because I'm a human being, I fall off or didn't, something derailed me and I didn't get back to it. But I can see the effects of that. And so I love myself enough to do whatever hard thing or challenging thing instead of like, oh man, I suck. I can't do this. Why did I fall off? That is not helpful thinking. But I love myself enough to get up early. Even though my bed is comfortable and warm, I would rather stay here. I love myself enough to do this hard thing. So it can be, I don't know if that feels simple, or if that is something that resonates with you, give it a try. But it's just that changing the thought. Changing the thought changes also the way you feel about the thing or about yourself, the experience. So finding that thought and then flipping the script. And I'm starting off with several examples here, apparently, but I came across a reel a long time ago, and it's one that I've saved in my kind of like inspirational, motivational. I save, like you save the reels on Instagram, so I have a little folder for inspirational. And the one about flipping the script that really stuck with me is one that I heard Selma Hayek. She is an actress that you may or may not be familiar with, but she was talking about how if someone in is insulting you in another language that you don't understand the language, you might just be kind of amused to be like, you don't understand the words, you don't understand the meaning because you don't know the language. So if someone is so adamant about insulting you or criticizing you or saying negative things about you, you just kind of like, okay, and why is that? Because the words have no value or no meaning to you, right? They have value or meaning to the person saying them, and they are trying to convey that meaning and that value, that you also just like latch in. And instead, you just might be amused to be like, why is he so agitated, or she, or what is happening here? And so you can choose to flip the script on words that you do understand, words that you do know. You could choose to take the value away from them. Let them just kind of bounce off and be like, wow, they're getting really riled up. And you can also choose to move away. Like, I don't have to be in this area. They can say what they want, but I don't have to subject myself to that. Choose to walk away, choose to put music on, earbuds, whatever the circumstance is, or just ignore it. But they only have meaning because we give them that value and we allow them to, when we let words and things upset us. So just kind of maybe flip the script and say, I wonder what they really mean. I don't know what they're saying. Like, pretend that you don't understand, but you don't understand what the word is. And you're like, it becomes a fun little exercise. So, so those are some examples of things that I use, statements that I'm currently using. An example of flipping the script so that your energy and your reaction to people or to circumstances change. And now I want to talk a bit about joy and how you can choose joy at any time. And this is not, I am not here telling you to discount the emotions that you're having. What is the word? Emotional bypassing, I think is what it's called. And that is when you're angry or something, on a, you're just, let's just say, a challenging emotion, angry, frustrated, sad, and you cover it up and say, oh, no, things are fine. Things are fine. I'm fine. You tell yourself you're fine. You tell others that are fine. And you're not acknowledging or addressing the fact that you have those negative or challenging emotions or thoughts. This is not that. This is intentionally realizing and identifying the thoughts, the emotions that you have that are having that are not helping you, and choosing to reframe them. Now, that does not mean you have to go from 0 to 100, meaning if you are angry or frustrated and then saying, okay, I realize I'm angry and frustrated, or I'm feeling frustrated right now, and trying to convince yourself like, but I'm good. I'm going to feel, 100% right now. It's not about extremes. Acknowledging that diffuses the power of it a bit. Like, I'm feeling frustrated right now. And then you can ask yourself, what can I do to feel better? And it doesn't have to be any, it can be any level of better, a little bit better, a lot better, somewhere in between. So you are acknowledging and accepting, and it's like, I'm having this feeling and I want to change it. You're not covering it up. And you're also realizing that it doesn't have to be 100% better or all the way better. Simply by moving incrementally, if that's how you do it, bit by bit, you're still doing the work. You're still feeling better, and you can appreciate those moments. So, and so those are little moments of joy, in a sense that you can celebrate. You might not say I'm feeling joyful, but you can appreciate and celebrate that you are improving. that you are moving in the direction that you want because you exercised your personal freedom to change your energy, to change your thoughts and move yourself in a direction that feels better. And you just keep doing that moment by moment or day by day or as things come up, and you will start to see the benefits of that practice. So small moments of joy, small moments of joy that you can intentionally do, like having a cup of coffee, listening to music, going outside, getting some fresh air. These are things that you can also incorporate. These are actions that you can take to move you in the direction that you want to be, instead of stewing or focusing or kind of just going down that rabbit hole of, well, shit, this sucks and it's not going to get better and things always happen to me and nothing else works out for me, but they work out for other people. So it is an intentional way. You have that freedom. You have that freedom to break those mental chains and change your thoughts, change your circumstances, change your energy, change your perspectives. And what that does is that protects your energy. It establishes boundaries for yourself because you start to realize, I don't like to feel this way. I can acknowledge when I'm feeling this way and not let myself slide further down that challenging or negative scale. You are setting a boundary that, okay, I'm stopping this here and I'm going to, on purpose, move the other direction. I have the freedom to do that. I'm going to exercise that freedom. And so when you feel like you don't have the freedom to change, whatever careers or to change, I don't know, whatever, yourself, your clothes, you can start with these little things that you can do in any given moment. And the more and more that you do them, you then start to attract opportunities to feel that way in other areas that you're not feeling that way. You then you hold this vision of what you do want and where you're moving towards or goals that you're achieving. And you start moving there incrementally and attracting more opportunities to get there faster, or just opportunities that you had not considered, because you're focusing on doing what you can control and focusing on doing things that make you feel that way in any given moment, even in small pockets of time. It's that saying, not my circus, not my monkeys. So what deserves your energy? What monkeys deserve your energy? Not the ones that are someone else's, or that are, that they're kind of throwing at you or sending your direction. You don't have to engage. You don't have to acknowledge them and give them energy that takes away from your peace. It's this freedom of autonomy, right? Like, we have the freedom to choose these things. And I don't know if that is, maybe you hadn't thought about it that way, which is why I'm kind of focusing on what we can do in a moment and internally and with our thoughts, without necessarily addressing, but I don't have this yet. Okay, but what can I have that is similar to that is moving me in that direction? So that is a very simplified, I think it's simplified. Hopefully it broke it down to just help you start thinking about the fact that you do have the freedom to change your thoughts. And your thoughts can change your energy. And your energy changing can then change the actions that you take or that you don't take. Or it can change the level of engagement or interaction or energy you would have given to something before, that actually pulls you further down into that challenging vibration or challenging emotion. And you can choose to stop it. You can choose to change it. You can choose to start improving it at any given moment. And so you are setting mental boundaries, energetic boundaries for yourself, and you are setting, you're prioritizing your peace. And if you think about all these other things going on around you, kind of like a tornado, because sometimes they feel that way, right? So spinning and whirling around you, but the eye of the tornado is actually calm, the eye. And so if you can think of all these things going on around you and you kind of moving with it, right? You kind of moving with the things, but you're staying within that eye of the tornado. It's like, okay, I'm just choosing to stay in this eye. And I know that the things will dissipate as long as I don't give them energy, things will improve. I can improve them right now and kind of navigate it from a place of peace and not get all riled up. So I don't know if that visual helps you. It did help me knowing that, okay, I'm going to move with it. I'm mobile, I'm flexible, I can adapt, and I don't have to stay stuck. I don't have to try and hold my ground and make things harder for myself. And I also don't have to enter the tornado. I can stay in this eye until things start to dissipate, either by my thoughts dissipating it, by not giving it energy, dissipating it, by just letting it play out with me, not even engaging with it, not getting involved with it, and letting it kind of fade out and die down on its own. That might be enough, right? That might be enough to dissipate it, just not giving it your focus. And so recently I started adding a segment, or kind of a wrapping up the episodes with something called a Rebel Challenge. And this is an activity or an exercise or something that I leave you with related to what the podcast topic was about, that you can go implement right away, go try throughout the week. You can keep it in your toolbox as something to draw on in a circumstance that you might need it. And when you do the Rebel challenges, I invite you to share it on social media. You can tag me, Patty, Rebel Manifestor. You can use the hashtag Rebel Challenge. And if I catch that, I'll search for it and I will share your experiences, your stories, or whatever. I will share them to my stories, and you can just come back and check in on them, or kind of keep a list of these things that you can try and do and implement at, like a toolbox, exactly like a toolbox, keeping them available to yourself. So I talked a little bit about it. I indicated, or I kind of referenced the activity earlier in the episode. The Rebel Challenge this week is to identify a list of things, activities, whatever it is, your support kit to help you implement joy in any given moment, to help you take back your peace and protect it. So ideas that I have are having a favorite playlist, or having a song or something that you can either sing in your head or actually listen to on your podcast or computer, whatever the case is. You could wear outfits, put something on every day, a color or a style of clothing or something that helps you feel the way you want to feel. One of the things that I talk about often is boots are kind of like my power and comfort, confidence accessory. So what I say, like, I feel much more confident in boots. I don't know why. I might someday, I don't know, but I feel more confident. And it doesn't matter. It can be like the lace up, combat boots, or just, pull up boots. And just boots are my confidence accessory. So do you have an accessory or a style of outfit that will help you feel that way? Wearing a certain color lipstick. I don't know how much it shows up on this, bright red lipstick helps you feel confident or happier or anything like that. Having a little snack for yourself, right, at your desk at work or at home or in your bag, in your car, that you can give yourself a little boost of energy, a little treat for yourself to help you in that moment feel a little bit better, feel more badass about yourself, because you know that you are intentionally taking control and exercising these freedoms that you have. So let's see, I said playing favorite music, wearing an outfit that makes you feel badass or confident, saying no to things that drain you, right? This could be something where someone asked you to meet them or join up and do something, or they ask you to take care of something for you because you've always done it or because it's easy for you. But if it doesn't fit in, like if it's going to drain you, if it's not going to benefit you, if it's something you don't really want to do and it's not a requirement, practice or start practicing saying no to the things that drain you, that don't light you up. Because there are plenty of things that we have to do anyway, right? Like going to work, paying the bills, taking care of little humans if you have them, right? So there are things we have to do. So protect your peace in those instances where you have the freedom to, but it might not feel like you have the freedom. It might feel like you have to say yes, even though that's not actually the case. So that is another way that you can practice, exercise actually this freedom to choose to say yes or no. And you'll start noticing the difference the more you do it. It is uncomfortable at first. It doesn't feel great in the moment, but the effect does. It's much better. And the more you do it, the easier it gets. So you are the creator of your reality, as am I, and we can choose to, dance a little jig, sing a little song, do something in a moment. That doesn't mean we're ignoring the circumstances that are challenging. It means it's actually protecting our peace of mind, our well-being, so that we don't go down that black hole of despair, of things are not possible for me. I don't know how to change things. Take control and practice exercising the freedoms that you have, that you don't need permission from other people. You can choose to smile. You can choose to be happy. You can choose to have a moment of, okay. And if it's a small moment that leads to more small moments, they all add up. So it's not about saying this isn't, the challenging things aren't happening, or that they're not challenging. It's just, what can I do? What can I control? How can I feel better in this moment? And then you'll notice more and more of those opportunities. And at the end of the day or the end of the week, it's a cumulative effect. So, the call to action for you is to do or try the Rebel Challenge. Tag me or use the hashtag Rebel Challenge, and I will share them. Check out that previous episode if you'd like. It's episode 40, when the universe sent the police to set me free. And then episodes coming up next week is falling back in love with your vision. If you don't have a vision yet, falling in love, creating a vision and falling in love with that as well. So falling back in love or falling in love with your vision. Then after that is confidence is a rebel's best friend. And then wrapping up the month with music is a manifesting power tool. So that's it. I will see you guys next week. Take care and let me know if you do the Rebel Challenge.